So in this video, we're just going to take a look at some different examples. So number one says, name a pair of adjacent complementary angles. And we're going to use our diagram here to figure that out. So remember, adjacent means the two angles share a vertex and a side. And then complementary means they add to be 90. So what you would do in a problem like this is go through and see where you see sums of 90 degrees. Now they could happen in more than one place, but this one specifically says adjacent. So I actually see 90 degrees happen in two places. If you take 34 plus 56, that's going to have a sum of 90. And if you take 68 plus 22, that's going to have a sum of 90. But only one of those pairs is adjacent. And it's the one in this first diagram here because they share vertex E and they share side ray EB. So that would be angle A, EB, and angle BEC. And then for this next one in here, if you're having trouble identifying them, let's highlight it too. So that's this angle here and this angle here. Then for the next one, it says non-adjacent supplementary angles. So this time, the angles are not next to each other. So again, supplementary means 180. So you're going to look for angles that add to be 180. Now I see that in a few different places. Right here, if you take 56 plus 124, that would add to be 180. And you could even go across diagrams here. If you took angle HFK, that's going to have a total of 56 degrees. So we can write that down here. These two angles would be 56 degrees, which if you add, again, 56 to 124, that would work. And these are in two separate pictures. Because that first one that I pointed out, 56 and 124, those are adjacent, so that wouldn't work. So we want to go with this 124 degree angle on this side, and then this one that is 56 degrees on the other side. So that would be this angle here, DEC, and HFK. Those are non-adjacent. So angle DEC and angle HFK. All right, and exercises 2 through 6, use figure 1, so that's this picture here. There's a lot going on, so when we're talking about a certain part, you can always cover up the rest of it, if it doesn't help you with the problem. So number 2 says angle 6 is a complement of angle 5, and the measure of angle 6 is 71 degrees. Find the measure of angle 5. Now this is where you have to think to your vocab that we talked about. If something is a complement, that means the two angles together add to be 90. So what this is saying, if you take angle 6 plus the measure of angle 5, it should be 90 degrees. And you can label it in your picture if you want. In this situation, you don't really need the diagram. You more need to just know that angle 6 has a measure of 71 degrees. So all you actually have to do here is subtract. All together they need to be 90. One of them is 71. So we're going to say the measure of angle 5 equals 90 minus 71, which is going to give you 19 degrees. Number 3 says angle 3 is a supplement of angle 4, and the measure of angle 4 is 26.7 degrees. Find the measure of angle 3. Again, similar idea, except supplement means the two angles add to be 180. So this is telling you one of them is 26.7, find the other one. So to find the measure of angle 3, we're going to take 180 minus 26.7, and that's going to give us 153.3 degrees. Number 4 says identify 3 different linear pairs. Now this we do need our picture for. Now there's a lot more than 3 linear pairs in this picture, so I'm going to identify a few different ones to you. Remember, linear pairs need to be adjacent and they have to form opposite rays. So I would kind of take a look for where you see opposite rays in your picture. One place is right here with angles 1 and 2. So angles 1 and 2 would be a linear pair. And then actually, if you look just on the opposite side of that, 3 and 4 would work as well because you still have your opposite rays. So it doesn't matter that it's upside down, that could also work. And then same thing, it doesn't necessarily have to be upright or upside down. You also have a pair of opposite rays right here. So if you take a look at angle 1 or angle 2 with angle 3, that would also work. And on the other side, angle 1 with angle 4. So angle 2 and angle 3 and angle 1 with angle 4. And then similarly, there's also an option down here with angles 7 and 8. So if you look down here, you have another pair of opposite rays. So 7 and 8 could work as well. So I'm just listing a bunch of different ones to you so you can see some different ways they could look. Number 5, are angles 6 and 8 vertical angles? Explain your reasoning. So if you take a look at your vocab, vertical angles have to be formed by intersecting lines, 2 intersecting lines. So if you take a look at angle 6 and 8, you have to decide, okay, well, were these formed by 2 intersecting lines? Do I have my nice X shape here? And if you need to, you can highlight it. If you take a look, there's one, there's the other, there's your X shape. It doesn't matter that this other ray is coming off to the side of it. 6 and 8, if you folded that in half, that would line up perfectly. So we're going to say yes, because they are formed by intersecting lines. Okay. And then number 6, last one for this picture. This one says are angles 7 and 9 vertical angles, and then still I want you to explain. So 7 and 9, if you look, outline here and outline here, that is not a nice straight line. It kind of tilts off to the side here. It's not your nice X shape. So we're going to say no, because they are not formed by intersecting lines. Oh, they are not. By intersecting lines. Okay. Number 7 says angle WXY and angle YXZ are supplementary angles, and the measure of angle WXY is 6x plus 59 degrees, and the measure of angle YXZ is 3x minus 14 degrees. Find the measures of the angles. Now this you do not need a picture for, because here we have our word supplementary. That means the two angles are going to add to be 180 degrees. So we are going to apply the angle addition postulate that we learned in our last section and take one part of our angle plus another part of our angle and set it equal to our whole, which is 180. So I'm going to take 6x plus 59, that's my one angle, plus 3x minus 14, that's my other angle, equals the whole thing, which is 180. Combine your like terms. 6x plus 3x is going to give you 9x. 59 minus 14 is going to give you 45 equals 180. Subtract your 45 over. 9x equals 135. And then divide to get that x equals 15. Now, make sure you read your directions properly, because it did not say to just find x, right? It says to find the measures of the angles. I just can't draw threes with a stylus. Sorry, guys. We're going to pretend like that's neat. So it says to find the measures. That means you need to plug it back in. So I need to find the measure of angle WXY, which is 6x plus 59. So I'm going to plug that in. 6 times 15 plus 59. Simplify that. You should get 149 degrees. And then the measure of angle YXZ is 3x minus 14. So 3 times 15 minus 14 should give you 31. Now a big hint at the end of if you got it right or not, these better add up to 180 degrees. And 149 plus 31 does add up to be 180. So that should be a good sign that you probably did the right thing here. Next one, same idea except complementary. This says angle ABC and CBD are complementary angles, and the measure of angle ABC is 3x plus 6 degrees, and the measure of angle CBD is 4x minus 14 degrees. Find the measures. So again, same idea, except complementary means they add to be 90. So we're going to take our one part, 3x plus 6, plus our other part, 4x minus 14, set it equal to the whole thing, which is 90 degrees. Combine your like terms, 3x plus 4x is 7x. 6 minus 14 is minus 8 equals 90. Add your 8 over. 7x equals 98. And then divide to get 14. Again, it wants the measures of the angles, so make sure you plug it back in. The measure of angle ABC is 3x plus 6, so that's going to be 3 times 14 plus 6. So that should give you 48. And then the measure of angle CBD equals 4 times 14 minus 14. So that should give you 42. And always double check. 42 plus 48 would give you 90. So that should work. Number 9 says angle EFG and angle HFI are vertical angles. The measure of angle EFG is 5x minus 2 degrees, and the measure of angle HFI is 3x plus 10 degrees. Find the measures of the angles. Vocab word here is vertical. And if you go back to the front of your notes, vertical angles are always congruent. So if they're congruent, that means their measures are equal. So set these two angles equal to each other. We're going to do 5x minus 2 equals 3x plus 10. Subtract your 3x over, that'll give you 2x. Add your 2, that'll give you 12. Divide to get 6. And it says find the measures of the angles. Now what's kind of nice about this, they're congruent. So once you find one, you'll know what the other one is as well. But it is also always a good idea to plug it into both and double check if you're not sure. So the measure of angle EFG is going to be 5 times 6 minus 2, which is going to give you 28 degrees. And then if you plug it into the other, you should get the same thing. The measure of angle HFI will also be 28 degrees. And then in the last video, we're going to take a look at some algebraic equations where we actually have to write our own equation.